Hello everybody, my name is Mikhail Bader and we're beginning the new exciting series about human development in the age of artificial intelligence. And today we're going to take a look at some interesting companies which are leading the way, like Nvidia, which is providing a lot of hardware and a lot of tools for this revolution. OpenAI, companies like Tesla, which is in addition to cars, are also building robotics, Boston Dynamics. And we're going to take a look at the basic ideas as far as like what transformation will it bring when a lot of jobs will be done by either artificial intelligence or by robots, and robotics and artificial intelligence might replace, I don't know, maybe 70, maybe 80% of what human beings can do. So what does it mean for everybody? What does it mean for you and me? And what can we do to prepare? And to answer it in a few words, I think we'll have to go to the next level of our development. We'll have to look at the mythology and stories of what people were able to do, the great heroes. And I think the monumental challenges we're facing now will have to get to the next level. And on one hand, you don't have to memorize all the books to compete with artificial intelligence. You don't have to be as strong or to have the intelligence of the machines which have been built. But we have something unique. We have a soul. We have a divine soul. So then that brings us to the metaphysical level. And then we'll have to examine ourselves one more time and get to the next level and become the very best the human beings can be. We'll have to go to the golden age of what it was in a Greek, of Roman times when people were able to do philosophy and sports and develop themselves. We'll have to take a look at mythology throughout the world and understand what is the possibility. Because at this point, nobody can predict the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But at least we can try to understand and examine it. So let's start. Let's get started. Let's take a look what is Nvidia building. Nvidia is a great company. They started from producing video cards and computer graphics, and then they started to provide all the hardware and software for artificial intelligence. So let's take a look.
Imagine a world where we can predict the future. Digital twins are virtual models that mirror the real world and let us see the future to better understand the impact of today's actions on tomorrow's world. Meet Nvidia Earth 2, a digital twin that uses the power of AI, physical simulations, and computer graphics to make weather and climate predictions at a global scale. CoreDiff is Nvidia's generative AI model that was trained on WRF numerical simulations to generate weather patterns at 12 times higher resolution. From 25
so this is the CEO of Nvidia explaining his technology. Basically, they can produce the digital twin of Earth and be able to predict the weather.
Does this 1,000?
So they can predict the weather, and to do that, they build in a three-dimensional twin of Earth, and they understand how the weather works. It was impossible. Yeah, we had some simulations, but first of all, they were taking forever to run. And then now we can use also artificial intelligence. Let's take a look at something else. Let's take a look at the digital humans technology.
Options for you to choose from.
There'll also be AI customer service agents, making the interaction more engaging and personalized, or digital healthcare workers who will check on patients, providing timely, personalized care.
I did forget to mention to the doctor that I am allergic to penicillin. Is it still okay to take the medications?
The antibiotics you've been prescribed, ciprofloxacin and metronidazole, don't contain penicillin, so it's perfectly safe for you to take them.
And there'll even be AI brand ambassadors, setting the next marketing and advertising trends.
Hi, I'm Ima, Japan's first virtual model.
New breakthroughs in generative AI and computer graphics let digital humans see, understand, and interact with us in human-like ways.
From what I can see, it looks like you're in some kind of recording or production setup.
The foundation of digital humans are AI models, built on multilingual speech recognition and synthesis, and LLMs that understand and generate conversation.
你们部落有什么特别的习俗吗？
我们有丰富的祭祀仪式和传统舞蹈，还有对大自然的
And they can
崇拜。
also speak in different languages.
The AI
That's another
connect to
thing.
another generative AI to dynamically animate a lifelike 3D mesh of a face. And finally, AI models that reproduce lifelike appearances, enabling real-time path-traced subsurface scattering to simulate the way light penetrates the skin, scatters, and exits at various points, giving skin its soft and translucent appearance. Nvidia ACE is a suite of digital human technologies, packaged as easy to deploy.
Okay, so they have a lot of technologies, not only the hardware, but also the software. Right, so let's take a look at other things. So that was the company called Nvidia. They're the powerhouse. And another thing which is interesting is that the question which will come up is that if artificial intelligence and robotics can do a lot of human jobs, then what will human beings do? What will we do all day? Right? So that's a big philosophical question. And also how human beings will be able to make a living. Right? So like if you don't have a job, what are you going to do? So all of them are talking right now, people who are discussing artificial intelligence are talking about universal basic income. So they're going to be some kind of money which you're getting paid monthly so that you can survive. You're not going to get rich on that, but you will be able to survive on that, right? So, and another thing which comes to mind is that once we're talking about Nvidia, if you can take a look at their stock performance, right? So in the 5 years, they went from, I don't know, $4 to $125, $123 today. And I'm not sure if they take into consideration that the stock split several times. So that might answer the question of what can be done. So if you know something about investments, that will help you. But basically in the future, we'll have to answer the question, what are we going to do? What the human beings will do if you don't have to go to work? And that's a big philosophical question, because a lot of human beings identifying themselves with their job. I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, I'm a driver, I'm a police officer. What if artificial intelligence and robotics will be able to do most of those jobs? And what are we going to do? So all of these questions, they're big questions, right? So let's take a look at the next company. The next company is OpenAI, and their product is ChatGPT. So I asked a few questions today. Basically, like you can ask a question like, let's say, what is a good way to market YouTube channel? Or you can ask any question. Let's do something real time. Let's ask the question. Summarize the history of United States in 5 points. Boom. So it's thinking, okay, short history of United States. Colonial revolutionary period, formation of constitution, civil war, industrialization, global influence, civil rights movements, and modern era, right? So we asked it for a summary, it gave us a summary, right? And also the latest version of ChatGPT, it can generate pictures using the DALL-E technology, which is also part of the company OpenAI. Right, so that they have that technology. So I asked the prompt, generate a picture of Greek philosopher Pythagoras with his students studying Egyptian mysteries. And it generated a picture like that. The picture looks interesting and it looks good, right? And they have some capabilities where you can select and edit the picture. That's a separate subject. What pictures can be generated? We're going to look at that too. But basically, you can think of any question. Let's say, let's ask, who are the richest corporations in the US? Okay, it's thinking about it. So any kind of question. Microsoft Corporation is number 1. Apple Computer is number 2. Nvidia, which we discussed today, is number 3. Alphabet or Google, Amazon, Meta platform, which is Facebook, and Berkshire Hathaway. So, and they give you the numbers. So, in other words, I think that all the database of human books is in ChatGPT. So, as human beings, we cannot compete with that. We cannot memorize like all the books. And it's not only in English. You can ask questions in any language. It will understand it in Japanese, in Chinese, in Russian, in Arabic. So human beings are limited in us. How many languages do we understand, right? So that's another thing, is that languages, right? So let's take a look at, since we're talking about generating pictures, let's take a look at other possibilities, what can be done. There's a company called Leonardo AI. So there are multiple companies which are capable of generating pictures based on a prompt, right? So let me hide my picture so you can take a look at what's going on. Yeah, like that. So you can see the full screen. So these are the pictures which people generated based on prompt. So before, if you needed to have a picture, you would need to hire an artist. So that's another debate. That's a big debate, and a lot of artists are concerned because you will need to have less artists. And another topic of that conversation related to the artists is that, look, to train these applications, to train these generative AI models, like a lot of pictures which are freely available on the internet, pictures which human beings generated, human artists, they were used to train these models. And now they're using these models and they're charging like, I don't know, these guys are probably $20, $30 a month. And you can generate very decent, like, look at this guy is like very realistic, right? So, or it can be in a different style. It can be in a style of some like a known painter. It can be in some fantasy style. There are a lot of things which can be done. It can emulate different like artists throughout human history. So that is a big debate, and a lot of artists are saying that you have to put regulations stopping these companies to exploit their artwork. But my concern is that you cannot go back in time. Once people invented firearms, there's no way to go to bow and arrow. There's no way to go to swords. And a lot of times in human history, when people invented the engine which runs on the steam, once we invented the steam engine, an industrial revolution began. There's no way to go back. So as much as we want to, we can try to limit it, and we can try to make it possible to look at these pictures. They look very real. And another question related to that is that, first of all, you'll be able to generate a lot of content, and it's being extended all the time. So it used to be pictures, the video is next. So you will be able, let's say, if you like some movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you'll be able to generate the next episode which wasn't filmed yet, or some actors which passed away. Like if you talk about some classic movies, I don't know, Casablanca or something like that, and the actors are no longer around, artificial intelligence will be able to fully replicate their likeness and generate the next episode of that, right? So that is another example of images which we can generate using artificial intelligence. So I think you get in the picture, right? The next one I wanted to show is robotics, right? So this is Tesla Robotics. Let's take a look what it can do. Look how sensitive the touch is. I think you got the idea. So robotics is developing at the lightning speed too. Let's look at the next one. The company is Boston Dynamics. I think you get in the picture, right, of what's going on. And of course, if you like Star Wars, or if you like other like science fiction, a lot of those scenarios were done. And you know what are the first applications? The first applications of any kind of technology, it's probably going to be used for the military. And let me show you one more thing. What was the exhibition in China? They're developing hyper-realistic robotics, which kind of like the robots which look like human beings.
Research in the field of intelligent humanoids and the creation of hyper-realistic bionic robots is responsible for such performances every year at the exhibition. The bartender robot, which fully reproduces the appearance of one of the company's employees, attracted a lot of public attention. The robot's movements were quite smooth, his facial expression was constantly changing, and as it turned out, his double is already working in one of the bars in Kunming. In order to demonstrate the effective work of the joints created by them, X-Robots brought a robot performing the dance 1000 Guanyin. Of course, compared to the elegance of the original, it is still far off. But the softness and synchronization of the robot's movements are impressive. Robots will definitely have the ability to perceive their environment in the future, as well as the ability to express emotions.
Let me show you the last thing I wanted to show you. That's Midjourney. Midjourney is another thing where you can just enter a prompt and it will generate an interesting picture. So let me see, I entered the prompt, something which might be looking like the future of human beings, right? So it generated that. Let me hide the picture so you can see. Right? So I think you see what's going on. So today I wanted to do just a basic introduction, not to go too much into the details, but basically the big question, I wanted to outline the big question. Technologies are developing very fast. And since technologies are developing very fast, there are going to be a lot of questions. What are the human beings will do in the future when this artificial intelligence which knows everything and it can answer any question? Does it mean it will replace teachers? It's already replacing, they're already like self-driving cars, which are replacing drivers, right? So there are a lot of professions are being replaced before our eyes, right? But the question is, what can we do? So I think we have to prepare. We have to prepare, and the only answer is along the lines of the mind, body, spirit. We have to develop our mind. We have to develop ourselves spiritually. We have to develop our bodies so that we are strong. And we have to look for the next level. And sometimes to look at the next level, you have to look back at mythology and different things which people developed as fairy tales, because those fairy tales might have keys to what is going on now. At some point, I was teaching a class at Columbia University, games design and mythology. And you would be surprised, but a lot of concept from mythology is in video games. So industry is always absorbing the best ideas. And now we might have to go and kind of imagine the future. That future does not exist. I think the future is bright. I think human beings will have a lot of time to develop themselves, to get to the next level. We will be kind of like Greek philosophers, which are like walking around and thinking and conceptualizing, and you'll be able to travel and open new businesses. But to do all of those things, we have to prepare. It will not come by itself. If you're just dreaming like our parents, that you get a stable job and you call that job, you're going to have a lot of surprises. So basically, this is the beginning of the series. We're going to look through all those possibilities together. We're going to look at new technologies, human development, and what can be done to meet the future. Thank you very much for listening so far, and have a great day.